How are we looking? But more importantly, how are we feeling? Welcome back to Lenny Reed's YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through a simplified back and biceps day to have you looking like a complete house. Now, our first movement on this back and biceps day is going to be a simple pull-up. I like to do this in about the 8 to 15 rep range, slow and controlled, to make sure I get the blood flowing before I go into a lat pull down or whatever I'm planning on doing next. Another reason I like to do these pull-ups before I get into any rowing or lat pull down movements is just for the fact that I like to be fatigued and I like to create a better mind to muscle connection. In doing this, creates that and does so. I will often only do one set of pull-ups to failure or roughly to failure before I get into my exercises, but every other movement or exercise inside this video will be 2 sets to complete failure. Now, immediately after you get the blood flowing by doing a single set of pull-ups to failure, you're going to get into a seated lat pull down. This is one of my staple movements in my back day. You create a huge upper back with it, huge upper traps, and overall, it's just a great movement for back, and you can't stray away from it if you want to build a great physique. Now, most of these rowing movements or pull down movements that I'm doing, I'm still doing heavy weight and challenging myself, but going into a rep range where I can still fail. So like I said, I'm targeting about the 8 to 20, trying to go roughly around, maybe let's say I want to fail in about the 12 to 15 rep range. So I'm going to pick a weight that I've done before that I know that I can probably only do for that rep scheme, and still fail into it, and not leave anything in the tank. Because as we all know, and I can't reiterate it enough, if you don't train with intensity, you're not going to grow in the first place. It doesn't matter what movements or exercises I give to you or what you look up on YouTube. You're just not going to grow. Now, this movement that I'm performing is a single arm seated cable row. Reason this movement is one of my favorites in my back regimen is just for the fact that it creates some great lats and creates a great V taper. It's really easy to do, really easy to set up, and you can progress weight pretty quickly if you learn to do the movement correctly. To do this movement correctly, all you need is a single D handle, and to make sure that you're driving the elbow into the back side of your lat, making sure you're feeling the movement all the way throughout every single repetition, trying to make every single rep look like the one from before, even though at this point you're not going to be able to. On to the next damn set. We're going to be doing a rear delt fly with dumbbells. This is one of my favorites too. You can also either do a rear delt cable fly, but it does not matter because they are both great movements and exercises to grow your rear delts. Just remember on this movement that you're not going completely out to the side and you're not going completely behind you. You're picking an angle kind of in the middle and trying to create an angle with that rear delt that helps you grow them. Now, pay attention to how I am doing this movement, like I said, because this is one of the most commonly misdone exercises that I see in the gym. Not a lot of people know how to correctly perform this exercise, and that's why I think people are lacking those 3D, shoulders and guns. But on to the next movement. We're starting off with some biceps, and we're just doing a simple seated alternating hammer curl. Hammer curls have always been a staple in my regimen, no matter whether they're standing, whether they're seated, whether I'm doing them on a rope, on a cable, it does not matter. They're great for the forearms and great for the biceps. And always remember, you never really have to complicate biceps. You can do 2 simple movements for 2 sets to failure, even probably 1 set to failure, and you'd get in enough volume for the week if you train them twice a week. You don't have to complicate them. You don't even really have to go heavy. You just have to make sure you're training hard. So lift with intensity, and always remember, don't complicate the exercises. Keep it simple. Don't change up your regimen. And that's where I see a lot of new lifters go wrong. They think they need to change up the regimen and they need to do some complicated exercises to grow. But when in reality, all it takes is consistency and doing the same exercises over and over while progressive overloading, while being able to do more weight over time and just getting bigger in general. And you can see this in my last 2 choices of bicep exercises. I went really plain. I didn't change it up that much. And I went from, doing a hammer curl to a regular dumbbell curl, just seated with both of them. So I'm not getting a lot of sway, not getting a lot of extra movement, and keeping tension throughout the whole entire lift. And on that note, I just want to appreciate every single one of you that's been giving me love, been giving me support in the last few videos. Whether it's dropping a comment, subscribing. It really does mean the world since I'm grinding and trying to put out content whenever I can. So on that note, I'll see you in a later video. Peace.